وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وبعد. Alhamdulillah, continuing on with the routine of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We were talking about some of the things that have been narrated when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be eating. And one of those is that he would quite often have or eat at the same time as his family, and he would eat with his wife sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of the things that have been narrated, and Aisha radiallahu anha قالت كنت أشرب وأنا حائض ثم أناوله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيضع فاء على موضع فيه فيشرب وأتعرق العرق وأنا حائض ثم أناوله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيضع فاء على موضع فيه. That Aisha radiallahu anha, and this is a really interesting hadith because she mentions that she would take a sip of drink, she would take a sip of water, and she said وأنا حائض, and I was also at that time menstruating. And I would hand the glass over to the Prophet ﷺ, and he would then drink from the same glass, and he would put his mouth in the exact location where I had put my mouth to drink. And I would chew on a bone, meaning when you are kind of chewing on a bone, there's some meat left over or whatever. And then in the same thing, I would be in a state of menstruation. I would hand the bone to the Prophet ﷺ, and then he would also chew on the same spot that I had been chewing on sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so this shows you a couple of things. That number one, that he would engage with his wife even during a meal, and he would do so in a way that would make her happy and give her pleasure and so on and so forth. And she mentions that she was menstruating at the time to show that to dispel any again specifically at that time they had certain beliefs about menstruating women and all this kind of stuff, which alhamdulillah we don't have because of our teachings. But just to show that there's not it's a spiritual impurity. There's no other impurity involved in it whatsoever. But the Prophet ﷺ intentionally taking the drink and drinking from the same spot as his wife did, and intentionally, chewing on the bone the same spot as his wife did. Again, this shows his charm as well, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and utilizing that time to bond even with his wife. And so, alhamdulillah, trying to have meals with your family and trying to bond with them over the meal and doing things that make them happy. It's an opportunity, and he would use that time for that opportunity as well, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then there's some narrations about the sunnah of drinking water. And what is the sunnah of drinking water? Standing or sitting? Sitting. A lot of people just, alhamdulillah, we've been taught sitting. There's one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم زجر عن الشرب قائما. That the Prophet ﷺ disapproved of drinking water while standing. But there are a lot more narrations from more Sahaba that kind of dispel the fact that there's no, the sunnah was that he drank water sitting down and that he drank water standing up sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, عن النزال بن سبرة قال أتى علي رضي الله عنه على باب الرحبة فشرب قائما فقال إن ناسا يكره أحدهم أن يشرب وهو قائم وإني رأيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فعل كما رأيتموني فعلت. It's been narrated that Ali رضي الله عنه that he drank water while standing. And then he said specifically that people are disliking that one would drink water while standing. وَإِنِّي رَأَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فَعَلَ. But I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam do exactly this, meaning drink water while he was standing. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال شرب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قائما من زمزم. That he saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam drinking zamzam while he was standing. So he took from the zamzam the bucket and then the well, and then he drank while he was standing. وعن عمرو بن شعيب عن أبيه عن جده قال رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يشرب قائما وقاعدا. This is in Tirmidhi that Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, the narration is the interesting point about just the sanad of this hadith. عن عمرو بن شعيب عن أبيه عن جده. So Amr ibn Shu'ayb, this is Amr ibn al-As, the Sahabi. Sorry, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. This is the Sahabi, but he is the chain is mentioned by his offspring as well. But that he said, I saw the Prophet ﷺ drinking water, sitting and standing, and so some of the ulama they've tried to combine between the narrations that he disapproved of drinking water while he was. While somebody was standing, versus these where the Sahaba are clearly making it known. They're saying this for a reason, that because there's some disagreement And it's just like Ali radiallahu anhu says, some people are disapproving of people drinking water standing up. So there was obviously a discussion amongst the Sahaba whether or not this is okay or it's not okay. And so a lot of them are saying that both of them were observed. And then you have the narration where he disapproved of it. So some of the scholars have said, well, it's not for being haram. It's not even a major disapproval. It's something that's a minor disapproval of the Prophet ﷺ. And again, they will still say it is preferred that you drink water sitting down, as that hadith has been narrated, and the Prophet ﷺ was seen drinking water sitting down. But if there's no sin in drinking water standing up, and people shouldn't make a big deal out of it. And so again, just just like Ali radiallahu anhu said, he specifically did it to show that it's okay, right? So sometimes we can go too far in demanding things that are not necessarily an enforced or pushed sunnah as well. But this is just to make that point as well. Again, both of them were done by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to allow us to follow this sunnah. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.